All right, today we're going to get into the agent websites. So, first off, if you haven't met me before, my name is Chris Orsini. I am your Market Center Tech Trainer. I am a Keller Williams University approved trainer, a Labs advisor, and co founder of Leverage Strong. I been in KW for almost 5 years, and this is what I love to do. So, first off, I want to talk about just websites in general, and I want to help us have a healthy perspective of websites to begin with. Um, I was just talking to an agent this morning who's just really gung ho about his marketing. I recommended a book called Building a Story Brand, and I recommend everyone read that book. Now, the reason I recommend this book is real estate agents have terrible marketing. I'm just going to say it outright. I've seen some horrible, horrible marketing. Um, the truth is, we don't tell stories, and we lead with either logic or, "Hey, I'm a realtor. Don't forget me. I'm a realtor." Right? "Oh, hey, daylight savings is coming up. By the way, I'm a realtor." Right? Um, so, are any of you guys familiar with the bold law? Logic makes you think, and emotions make you
Act.
There we go. Yep. So logic makes you think, emotions make you act. Now, what do we get out of a website? Logic or emotions?
Depends, usually logic.
hmm Usually logic. What are most consumers going to a website for?
Look at a house.
What was that? Yeah, look at a house.
Look
Yep.
at a house.
They're
Fact.
looking for logic, right? They're not there looking for emotion. So I'm going to tell you guys this. If anyone is trying to sell you Google SEO or search engine optimization, tell them, thank you so much. Uh, you can tell them they're barking up the wrong tree because it's a waste of your money to spend money on SEO. Yeah, sure, maybe you write a blog and people show up to it. That doesn't convert. It's not a valuable use of your time, not a valuable use of your money. Um, actually, I have a good friend who's a real estate agent who has a real estate blog that, with SEO, is ranking number one in his area. And he is in a financial crisis. Right. So SEO, your website is not going to get you sales. It's not going to make you money. It's not going to do the things you expect it to do. We're used to reading a lot of these business books that talk about businesses that are things like, hey, you're trying to sell something on the internet, right? And you create this funnel and you get people into your funnel and you're selling either a product or a book or a service or a coaching or whatever. This is way different than that. We have to understand that what we're selling is the largest transaction of most people's lives. Nobody is going to buy a house off the internet. Nobody's swiping left or swiping right on a home, right? People are investing in a home. And with investing, you need to do that with a trusted advisor. And you can't trust someone that you're not in emotional proximity with. Have you guys heard me use that word before? I always say if I had enough fingers, I'd tattoo it across my knuckles, but I don't. So emotional proximity, this is the objective, right? People like to do business with people who knows the rest of that sentence?
Like or no.
No, like, and
Yep.
trust.
Yep. All three. No, like, and trust. Guys, those are all emotional words. I know David because he's been showing up to every one of my freaking meetings, unlike the rest of you. But he shows up to all these calls. And we have great conversations, and I've gotten to know David as a person, right? I like David because we've laughed together. I have not done any work with David, so I don't know if I trust him yet, but I trust him a little bit more than the rest of you who I haven't had interactions with, right? Those are all emotional terms. And if we're going to expect the internet to do something emotional, then we're going to fail. Then we're going to be walking through the mud the whole time in our business. So let's have a healthy understanding of what websites are. Websites are a tool. This is something that you can offer your clients to help get them deeper in emotional proximity. And the value that we have in our websites is, one, we have an IDX that spans the entire country and more. We got Canada, we got the DR, we got Mexico. We go any listing in KWLS, Keller Williams Listing Service, is on our websites. So if you've got a buddy who, say, is out in Nevada, right? And he's like, hey, I want to move. Oh, hey, here's my website. Let's look at some properties. I'll give you some feedback on them. Once you're ready to start looking, I'll connect you with an agent. And now what you've done is you put just a little bit more time into that buyer. And now you've created a more valuable referral, because it's not just a cold, hey, I got someone who's thinking about buying. Could you give them a call? No, you've got, hey, I got a buddy. Here's his name, phone number, email address. Here's the area he's looking in. This is his search criteria. All you need to do is meet with him and show him the property. Don't you think you could probably ask for a little bit more than 25%?
Mm-hmm.
If someone came to you and said, hey, I've got a buyer, they've got, they're pre-approved, 500,000. These are the boundaries they're looking for. It's got to be at least a 2-2 with a backyard. They did a lot of work for you. I'm sure you'd be happy to give them 35% for that, right?
Right.
So this is the power that we have in this. You're not just segregated to your MLS anymore. You can now serve people outside of your MLS. Of course, you can't really sell someone a home in Nevada, yet you can get a little bit more out of it. Also, a lot of people want to spend a lot of time personalizing their website. What are the most successful real estate websites right now?
Zillow.
Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.
Mm-hmm. What do you know about the people behind those websites?
Yeah, nothing. Right.
Nothing, right? How many times do you think your consumers are going on Zillow to read a blog?
Never. Right.
How often do you think they're going and looking at the About Me page on Redfin? Right? We overemphasize these things. And this is where I'm going to harken back to building a story brand, right? Something they talk about building a story brand is, one, we're by nature, as our human nature is drawn to stories, right? That's why we love movies and TV, right? We're drawn to stories. And every good story has three major components to it. There's a hero, that hero's got a goal. Sorry, the new iOS things. So this hero's got a goal. And this hero then faces an obstacle to get to their goal. And along comes a guide that helps that hero get over their obstacle and reach their goal. Right? You can apply that formula to almost every movie that you're a fan of. Sometimes the hero doesn't reach their goal and it's a sad movie, but the reality is there's this guide comes along. Now, we relate to this. When you watch these movies, you start seeing yourself as the hero, right? Now, I got a spoiler for you guys. You're never the hero as the agent. Your consumer is the hero. You're simply the guide that's getting them over the obstacle of home buying and getting them to reach their goal. I get it. We all want to be Luke Skywalker. None of us want to be short, shrivelly Yoda. I get it. And if we want our consumers to be drawn to us, we need to make them the hero, because that's who we relate to in the story. So if you're on your website saying, look at me, I'm the top this, I'm the top that, I got this award, I went to Bold, I did this, that, and the other, nobody cares. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Nobody cares. I'm proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself. And I'm glad you did those things. We love it that you do those things. We're proud of you. And consumers, it doesn't change their home buying decisions. It doesn't change who they work with.
But we all
who they work
have,
with.
oh, sorry. We all
Yeah.
have these websites, so we have to do something with them.
Exactly. And that's the point. I'm just laying some groundwork down for us to approach it in a healthy way, because I see a lot of people wasting a lot of time because they do not, they have a shifted perspective on what they need in a website.
On the value of all these things.
Correct. Yep. So that being said, I've got an infographic I want to walk you through. So there's a couple things. When I scheduled this class, I was hoping that I'd have a different story to tell. Currently with the websites, I am not recommending people switch over. There are some values to the websites. I think they're really great. And there are a couple key things that I can't in good conscience say, go ahead and do the switch. We've got time, right? They're not forcing us to switch over yet. And they've got some more things they're going to implement. So something to know is that it is considered a soft launch. They haven't stated it much as a soft launch. They've talked about it a lot, and it is actually a soft launch. So there's a term called MVP, like most valuable player, but in technology, it's kind of the opposite. It's minimum viable product. And that's what we're currently experiencing. So the idea is in tech is let's create this product enough to be usable, release it, and then build upon that. So we're currently experiencing a MVP, a minimum viable product, so that they can release it into the wild, see how it works, and make the little tweaks and additions that they need to make to it. So let me share this. I'm going to screen share real quick, and just a quick little infographic on, hey, should I upgrade my site? Share. So if you already have a site, if you already have an agent site, and you have some active custom pages, there could be, for whatever reason that you have a custom page, whether it be you've got a blog. I think that's an entire waste of time, but that's a different conversation. Or I know some, for instance, I have an agent that I've been working with who has used a third-party testimonial platform. And what he does is he embeds that testimonial widget onto a custom page. If you have anything like that, it's a hard no, do not upgrade. We do not have custom pages currently, and we do not have HTML or iframe, meaning we can't bring in third-party things into it. Those are things that are coming, but again, we have a minimum viable product right now, so we don't have those things yet. Also, if you have more than 25 people branded to you, say you don't have custom pages, you're sticking with just the basic things that come with it, and you have more than 25 people branded to you, probably best to wait a little bit. Probably best. We're having, there are some hiccups every so often that come with a new product, so it's best to let them iron those out. Now, even if no, you don't have custom pages, no, you're brand new to this, I would still take a second and go to Inside Command. They're offering classes on this, and I would go directly to them to get the full depth of this. Now, the final reason, and it's not on this infographic, the final reason that I will not recommend people switch to this site, the new sites yet, and also I just want to make this very clear. I don't want to disparage our own technology. I think the direction our new agent sites are going are incredible. They look way better than they did before, and there's a lot of really cool functionality that's in the pipeline. That being said, it's still best to pause, in my opinion. But the one reason is that they did implement a lot of SEO into these new sites, meaning they're going to pop up on search engines a lot more. That's a huge bonus. That's awesome, right? So our sites are going to show up a lot more on Google. The issue that we're having now is that they're showing up so much that we're getting an influx of spam leads coming through. So your database is your business. That's where all your money is coming from. I will not recommend it while we're getting spam leads coming in so much, because now you're going to be forced to take time every day to maintenance your database in ways that you shouldn't have to. They're working on solutions. It's gotten better, although it's not up to par, in my opinion. Is that fair to say? Okay. So I do also want to walk through, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pull up a slide. And I just want to walk through just some of the things that are coming in that, as well as showing you where you can get that training. And once I feel that I can train on it in good conscience, I absolutely will. So I'm not going to totally, push you guys off for the rest of eternity. So let me just pull up this one slide. I thought I had it up and I didn't. My deepest apologies. Out of curiosity, how many of you guys are using your agent site currently at any level? Ben, awesome. Do you go by Benjamin or is Ben cool?
Either one. Usually Benjamin the first time, and then it automatically switches over.
Okay.
We're
Yeah,
past
I'm a
it.
nickname guy, so yeah.
I'm
I will
transitioning.
say,
That's all right. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I used it personally at a high level. Like I have safe searches for each of my client, like for me to use, but I just couldn't get it to stick with any of the clients. But as soon as you talked at our last partners meeting with the I don't know what the term would be, the wall where you click the maximum 2 properties before they have to create an account.
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden it was like boom, 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 all of a sudden. And I knew they were legit because I knew who I had shared it with. I saw so-and-so create an account, so-and-so, and I was like, wow, that was really all it took, because otherwise they just were like, yeah, and then just never did. So that was like huge. And now it's like next level. I feel like that I'm able to actually implement it instead of just for myself.
Awesome. Yeah, the forced lead capture. And I'm glad you brought that up. I'll point us through that again, just for anyone who's missed that one. Because yeah, that's a great little feature, and it was very highly requested when the sites first came out. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Oh, sorry, Alicia, you were going to say something as well.
I'm in the process of dropping my old website that wasn't through KW and transitioning to my KW site. So I was curious. I know you and I talked about that a couple weeks ago. I was curious if you were ready to suggest the new site. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, no. I feel like this class is a little bit of a bait and switch, and I apologize if it feels that way. And it was an opportunity for me to get on a soapbox and help change the way we think about websites. So Gary says leaders teach people how to think, and that's my number one objective here. So just some things that they have about the agent sites. This not even a huge. So we have blogging capabilities. Not a huge fan of blogs, but what's cool about the blogs, and this is where I will give them praise, and I won't be the cynic that I'm being right now. The blogs are pre-created for you, so you don't have to go and create content. If you're out there creating content for blogs, I think it's an entire waste of time. But these blogs are actually really valuable, really useful information. So rather than just like the whatever shenanigans blogs we see out there for real estate, it's like guides, first time home buyer guides, seller guides, things that like are actually walking people through useful information in the buying and selling process. So it says optimize lead generation. Now it forces phone number when it does lead capture. Before it didn't force phone number. And there's SEO built into this, which has been a blessing and a curse, as I've mentioned before. We have dynamic featured listings, which and I'll zoom in on this if it'll let me. It's not letting me zoom, but down here, these are featured properties underneath the search bar. And instead of having to manually go in and add featured properties, it will feature them for you. It'll create those for you. Also, this is probably my favorite new feature, is the open house sign-in form. And if you're not using your website at a high level and you don't care about having to delete a couple spam leads every so often, this might make it worth upgrading. So the way this works, I don't know if you can see up here at the top bar, all you do is you go to your listing, and in the URL bar, you just type /open house, and it turns that listing page into an open house landing page, or an open house sign-in page, which is really cool. Before, what I was doing is I was creating a Google form, embedding it on the website, connecting it to Zapier, and then Zapier would move the contact into Command. Now it's all in-house, which makes things a lot simpler. And you also get these notifications. You get them for email. Just keep in mind, you're not going to get notifications for anyone who's already existing in your contacts. And push notifications are coming soon as well. So that is the agent sites. Now, I will take a second and I'm going to go into Command and show you where you can get further training on this. If you do want to say, Chris, the issues that you presented are no big deal to me, I'm going to go ahead and transition. You can go and do it yourself, or we can go into Connect right up here at the top. And if you guys don't know, Connect is, we have kwconnect.com and they're migrating it over here. So we all have everything in one place. We have tons of cool learning things in here. We have self-paced learning where you're brand new to KW and you want to learn about, oh no, that's about agent sites there, but there's Command Your Business, there's, level up your lead generation, all these just various trainings that you can pop into. Some are training, scheduled trainings. Some are on demand, like at your own pace, like an actual learning management system style learning. If you've ever done anything like Kajabi or Trainual or anything. So right at the top, you're going to, actually, let me jump over. There we go. This slide shows the maximize mindshare with cutting edge website 101. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to search website 101. And here we have all of these. We got Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, hold on, that happened already. So apparently you can hop in a time machine and go back to Friday the 29th and attend that training. So yeah, we've got trainings all throughout the week for this. So that's where I would send you guys. Now, if you're like, hey, I'm super techie, I'm going to go do it on my own, you can go ahead and jump into the consumer app. And there's just this button up here that says upgrade my website. You click on that and then walk through the steps here. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to have to deal with spam leads currently. So when I do, I'm going to do it live on a call. We're going to do it together. It's going to be, in a class so that it's not, so that you're watching me do it for the first time. So Ben, my new friend, has mentioned a really cool feature, which is registration. Now, I'm going to bleed into, after this, I'm going to bleed into the new lead gen, the new campaigns, just a little bit, and I'm going to explain why this is so important. So we have 4 different options. We have unrestricted, which is what I'm using currently, and that's, hey, you can do whatever you want on my site and not have to log in, unless it's a feature that specifically requires you to log in, such as, saving a property, right? Everything else, you can do anything you want, and it's not going to ask you to register. You can say, hey, after you look at 10 properties, you can't look at any more. You're going to have to register. Or 2 properties. You can only look at 2 properties and then you have to register, or no property viewing at all. You land on my site, you have to register. I lean towards 2 properties. I'm sorry, if you've visited 10 properties, then I mean, there's probably going to be a very small minority of website visitors that are actually going to view 10 properties. Maybe as they come and go, but in one shot, they're not going to view 10. So I stick with 2, gives them a little taste. Or unrestricted if there's, I don't know, if that's not an area of lead gen for you. But like Ben had mentioned, he had people who were in his sphere who knew him and were ready to work, but just didn't care to create an account. So that too is, I think, a good friendly reminder. Hey, let's create an account. No property, that doesn't lead from value. We need to be a value-based business to say, hey, I'm not going to provide anything to you until you give me something. That's not the kind of realtor I want to work with, right? Or any industry, really. So, the watch is about to die. Okay, so I'm going to jump into campaigns now and point out the areas that it's going to be especially important for you to keep an eye to know about this forced registration option. By the way, Alicia, you look so artistic with like the lens flare coming through the back. Don't be sorry, I love it. It's like J.J. Abrams is directing my Zoom right now. So we have our new campaign experience, new ads experience here. And one thing I really want to point out is these little blue and yellow chips here. So they both mean something very important. The blue one says, if you can't read it because that's pretty tiny, it says includes Facebook lead form. Anyone know what that is? No? Okay, I'm really glad oh, Julie, I saw you on mute.
Well, I had a question because my page doesn't look like that at all.
Did you, let's see, does it look like this?
Yes. Did I?
So what I just did was click start.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry about that.
Click
But
quick. That's a tongue twister. Sorry. Go ahead, Julie.
No, I was just going to say, I would say that it includes the Facebook lead form that if you do an ad, they have their generic form that they fill out and it would be sent to us.
Correct.
Okay.
So yeah, the way that works is the consumer would see the ad, click on it, and it's going to pop up a window asking for their information. It's a lead form. What I love about it is it auto-populates based on what the information they already have in Facebook or Instagram. So again, we're going back to building a story brand. When we're doing advertising, we're creating an emotional experience. Emotion, logic makes you think, emotions make you act. So we want to create an emotional experience. If we're then presenting a lead form that is forcing them to put keys to the keyboard, we're forcing them to switch what part of their brain they're using. They've now stepped away from being emotional and now have become logical as soon as they have to start typing. So now keys hit the key or fingers hit the keyboard and they're thinking, who is this guy, Ben? I can't even pronounce his last name. Is he going to call me? Is he going to text me? Is he going to email me every day? Right. And now I'm like, never mind, close out. Let me go to Zillow and try to find that property. So this makes it nice and simple, fills in the lead form for them. They click next. Then they opt into being communicated with, meaning you're allowed to call them, text them, email them as much as you want until they say stop, even if they're on the do not call list. So you're protected by that next page. And then they click, okay, yes, harass me as much as you want until I tell you to stop. And then the next page takes them to whatever site you want to take them to, which I would take them to my agent site, right? Let them look at the properties and start experiencing being in my ecosystem. And what's great is now you set up forced registration. So they'll register after two properties, and it's gonna then connect them to that contact that's been created in your account. And now you can see all the activity they're doing on the site. So If you're running ads for the first time, first off, if you haven't called your entire database in the last 3 months, do not run ads. Pick up your phone, call your database. Once you've called them and you want to start running ads, I would suggest sticking with the blue chip Facebook lead form ads. These are going to be the least complicated and the most successful and the best bang for your buck. Now we have these other ads. Sorry, before I go on to the yellow chip, any questions around the blue chips, the Facebook lead form ads?
Does it ask them on Instagram as well? Because I see the logo, or it shows on Instagram but doesn't include the lead form like it does on Facebook.
It includes the lead form on Instagram as well.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Definitely. And by the way, it's going to advertise to both. So these are meta ads. You don't need a face or an Instagram account to advertise on Instagram. It'll just take your Facebook page for advertising. And the algorithm is going to determine how much is going to which platform. So, all right, next is the landing page. Or the yellow chip, which is use your landing page lead form. I hate that they say landing page because I hate landing pages, but it's really use your lead form. And what that means is they're going to see your ad, they're going to click on it, and one thing only is going to happen. It's going to take them to whatever site you want them to go to. It is not going to collect their information for you. So that is why it's crucial to have forced lead capture set up. Because if you're going to run one of these ads, you're responsible for capturing the lead. I've seen tons of people run one of these ads, spend $100 on an ad, get 0 leads, and say, Chris, why the hell didn't I get any leads? And I have to say, it sounds like a you problem. And we have to go and change their ads. So make sure you're using the right one. Now, there are cases where I would say absolutely use a yellow chip, and that's going to be anything that's going to ask for their information after. So such as say you're holding an event, you've got a first-time homebuyer event, but they have to register for it. You've created an Eventbrite link and you're sending them to the Eventbrite link to register. You don't want to ask for their information just to ask for their information again in order for them to do what you want them to do, right? So things like that, I would use the yellow chip. And then we come down to Google. We got 2 Google options I just want you guys to be aware of. We have the Google with a G, and then we have the Google with an A. Yeah, I know there's no A in Google. That actually stands for AdWords, and it's a Google Ads company. So Google with a G, this is what many people refer to as PPC, or pay per click. This is going to show you as a sponsored result when someone searches for real estate on Google. What I like about Google or Google PPC is that these people are slightly more motivated than the people that you're advertising to on Facebook. On Facebook, you are simply interrupting someone's pointless scrolling. On Google, they're actively searching for something and you're the result. So slightly, and when I say slightly, I mean like a 1% difference, right? You can expect a conversion rate of about 1% on Facebook and 2% on Google, right? It's not going to be a drastic difference. Now with AdWords, it's not something I'm really recommending people get into. That's going to be something that you probably want to use if you want to build more mind share and brand building and brand awareness. What AdWords do is, have you ever been to, you somehow found yourself on a blog? I know in 2023, who goes to blogs? But yeah, you somehow found yourself on a blog and there's banner ads all over the place that somehow show the last products you looked at on Amazon and asking you to click on it to go buy that product. Those are AdWords. That's just Google tracking what you do on the internet and saying, hey, I saw you liked this. Are you sure you don't want to buy it? So it's going to do the same thing with homes and real estate. So again, how many times have you found yourself clicking on a banner ad? I can't remember the last time I clicked on a banner ad. So I don't think it's a wise use of your money, although I think it's good for brand awareness if that's your objective.
Are these, sorry to interrupt,
So-
is this localized at all, or does it go wherever? I feel like I did one. I don't know if I did it through Command or through Facebook, but it had me, I think I did it through Facebook directly, and I had to pick like 3 zip codes or something like that. Does it ask you for that here?
Yep. So I love that you asked that question. Ben, you can ask as many questions as you want because you're giving me
Okay.
fantastic topics to talk about. So we have some options here. When we're doing a listing ad, what it'll ask if we want to advertise around the listing location or a custom location. And it's also going to ask us a radius. So anywhere from 15 to 50 miles. Now, what's new with this experience that I love is that we can have up to 10 other locations. Sorry, up to 10 locations that we advertise in. And so if I'm advertising locally, I usually keep it down to 15 miles. If I'm advertising for transfers, I will go to 50 miles and put in whatever zip codes and or cities that I want. Now, a really cool tip that I like to share is I'm going to go out of this and get back into Command. And there we have a referrals applet here. And generally what we'd use this for is finding agents to send referrals to or connecting with agents to make referral partners. Now, let's say you wanted to find a referral partner in Miami. You could just scroll into Miami and you're going to end up with a list of all the agents in Miami. Oh, wow, Jonathan Phillips showed up. He's a good friend of mine. Well, now he's gone. He was a good friend of mine. We have, so this is going to be based on production and agents, but we can use this map in a different way to find people's migration. So if we click this drop down, we can look for market centers, we can see who's in our network, and then we have referral patterns. Now I'm going to click on referral patterns and you're going to start seeing something a little different here. Now what this does, this is now showing the referrals that have been sent out from my location. I'm going to switch it to referrals received to my location. And check that out. I can go in here and say, okay, we got people from Phoenix moving to Boca Raton, Florida. We've got people from Dallas, Atlanta. We have North Carolina, New York, all these places.
Chris, quick question.
So
Is it
now
only, sorry, is it only KW referrals or is it anything coming from outside of our own area that we pay a referral
This
fee?
is KW referrals. It's a good point that you make. It's not true migration patterns. This is tracking. What this is tracking is agent in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Atlanta, Georgia market center, sent a referral to an agent in the Boca Raton market center. So we're tracking referrals. We're not tracking true migration, if that makes
Chris,
sense. So
exactly. I'm thinking, is it, if I refer to a Remax, God forbid, right? But a Remax agent, if I pay them a referral fee, does it still track that? I'm not looking at the
No.
customers. Okay.
no, we can't. We just can't track those data points. Most of those are pen and paper. And just along those same lines, though, say this agent in the Atlanta market center had a buddy who lived in Oklahoma, and he referred his buddy in Oklahoma to move to a guy in Boca. That would count as Atlanta because it's the agent's referral that it's tracking. So not going to make a huge difference, but it is a reality, just so you guys know. So what I would do is I would then jump into that ad, which I probably should have just done this on a different tab, but hey, we all make mistakes, just some more than others. I would go to custom location and I would say Phoenix. Does anyone else say that as they're typing Phoenix? Phoenix. Atlanta, Dallas, New York. All right, so I would crank that up, and now I'm advertising in the places that I know people are referring from. So that's a little pro tip. What I would do is probably, and even there, what's great with this, what I used to recommend doing with the old ads was A/B. Run one ad for transfers, run one ad for locals. Now we can do this all in one. If I know this listing's in Boca Raton, Florida, I can also advertise in my local area. So now we can consolidate this all into one ad. So that's all I came here prepared to teach today. Actually, you know what? I am going to do one thing. There's something I did forget. So Crush City Realty Group, this is a good friend of mine out in Texas by the name of Josh Beard. Killer agent, great friend. He's on the new agent site. So I did want to at least give you guys a taste of what it looks like. So again, we have the very most important thing on this site, front and center. It's the search. Let's be real. Go to any real estate site, Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, Redfin, all of them. The first thing you're going to see is a search bar. That's all consumers want. So we've got that here. Cool. Next is we've got the featured properties. And you can see that I know for a fact that these aren't his listings. So we have these dynamically populating. We also have this awesome review section where I really like this carousel. It looks really nice. Way better functionality than the old one. And then here we go. We've got the blogs. I know I'm rolling my eyes too, but they're actually valuable, right? We got first-time home buyers guides. We've got part 2 and part 3 and part 4, and then various other blogs, right? Look at this, hurricane preparedness. That's valuable. So we can have points of value.
Is that something that I could share with someone during like a buyer consult, for example? Is usually when I'm asked those types of questions, like for buyer's guide, is there a specific link to that article or something like that?
So this would just be, I mean, you could use someone else's page or upgrade yourself and use it. One thing that I like that is coming to, it's not out for the new sites, but I really liked it in the old sites, is the buyer and seller guides.
Yeah, that's why I was sad then I heard they were getting rid of it, but it seems like this would be a good alternative to it maybe.
Yep. So yeah, these guides, I thought these were some of the most, this was like the coolest idea, and not enough people utilize these. But from what I've heard, they're bringing it back. Again, I don't get dates, and if I did get dates, I wouldn't say them anyways because I'd get myself in trouble. So yeah, I'm hoping they do bring those back. Great question. So I'm just gonna search my current location. I'm in Boca Raton right now. And there's, oh, I guess it's blocking it. There. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Took a second. So we've got our sites here. What I love is we still have our neighborhoods. And it's a little cramped on the screen with Zoom and everything on there, but let's pop into a listing here. You know, this is comes in at a cool sub $1 million, right? That's a deal, right? And has your branding in it, has the mortgage calculator. These look way better than they did before. I just love the way these new sites look. Now, let me demo the open house. So I'm just going to go up here in the URL bar, type /open house. And once it decides to load, my internet's being wonky today. There we go. It's going to change the site to this. You get the carousel of photos here and a sign-in form for your open house. Nice and simple. This is great to just throw on an iPad and put out there, or have a QR code. You just turn that, that into a QR code with this little share button up in. Just by the way, if you guys didn't know that, Chrome can turn any website into a QR code. You just click that and then click create QR code, and you can download it. By the way, this dinosaur isn't mandatory. So you can go in and like edit this dinosaur out and put your logo in, and it's still going to work. So it's a little pet peeve of mine when I see the dinosaur still there. Did you guys see the dinosaur? Did you know what I was talking about? Because you looked very confused, Alicia.
I don't see a dinosaur.
In the trees, like
Alright.
the giraffe
I'm
photo?
blind, but I don't see a dinosaur.
I don't
Are you
either.
seeing this QR code here?
No,
You
Where?
don't see the QR code?
no. There's a square, but I think it's just in the screened porch.
All right.
I don't see it either.
I'm going to change my screen share. Okay.
Thank you.
Realtor Easter eggs. Now we see it.
Can you see it now?
Oh, of course.
Ah, what? Now I see a dinosaur.
They always come
Okay,
up as
perfect. So-
dinosaurs?
Yeah, it always comes up as a dinosaur. So yeah, you would click this share this page button, and then you're going to come down to create QR code.
Oh.
And yeah, but yeah, so this dinosaur here, you can like just put it in Canva or Designs or whatever, put a white block over it, and then put whatever logo you want there, or just leave it blank. But or just leave the dinosaur if that's your jam. It's up to you.
Is that anytime you create a QR code in
In Chrome.
in Chrome, it's a dinosaur?
Yep.
That's funny. I usually use a QR code converter. Like I copy the website into the QR code thing.
Yep.
Just I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's so much easier. But I don't think I want dinosaurs on everything.
That's their like, it's kind of like a little mascot of theirs. If you ever get to, they do have you ever seen where on Google Chrome, like you can't connect to the internet or whatever, it gives you an error? If you look, sometimes there's a
yeah.
little
Yeah.
you press the space bar, it turns into a game and he runs and you got to jump over things. So there you go. You got a little Easter egg
Fun.
there.
I do that on purpose sometimes. Hey, Chris,
Yep.
joking aside, are you familiar with certain QR codes? Well, certain QR codes you create expire. Is that still a thing?
That's a really good question. I'm not familiar with QR codes expiring.
Maybe that's a thing of the past. Obviously, that's not something you want to get
Yeah.
surprised by.
What I would say is what would expire is the URL that it's sending you to. So
Hmm.
I think like say it went to a website and that website went down, then that would technically be expired. But the QR code is always going to just tell your device where to go. So, all right. This has been an interesting class. I appreciate you guys coming along this ride with me, because it wasn't, it was definitely a bait and switch. So I apologize for that. Thanks for sticking with me. But hey, it got you guys in here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julie, Ben, Jessica, Shanique, Samantha. This is the first time I've seen you on here. So
Chris, I have a question for you.
go for it.
So the website that I have now is a KW one, and it have like the typical drop down menus like reviews, testimonials from clients. If I did switch to the new website, would those all come with it?
Nope.
Nothing
It's
comes
starting
with
all
it.
over again. Yeah, nothing comes over. And by the way, also landing pages, if you are using landing pages, those you can't access them after switching. They'll still be live for a little bit. So if you copy the URL, you can still use them. And we don't have landing pages with the new sites yet. So
it's basically
and
like
I
starting
also-
from scratch.
it pretty much, yeah. So
Okay.
two things that I'm telling people: if you're just getting into websites, go ahead and if you're brand new to KW and just getting into websites, go ahead and use the new one.
Right.
No reason to start the old one just to redo it with the new one.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're putting any effort into landing pages, I think it's just generally a waste of time. I'm not a fan of landing pages to begin with. Most consumers are pretty cynical to landing pages. They want something that leads from value. So they want to be able to interact and be able to search wherever they want instead of using a landing page and they can't go anywhere. So,
Right.
but yeah, great question though, Julie.
Okay. And one other question was, you had said something when you were talking about the paid ads that there's some place to turn on or off a form. Where is that?
Yes. So it's not a form, but this is, I'm
Or
so glad you
lead
brought that up.
capture or whatever.
Yes, it's lead capture. So I'm going to share my screen again. This, what I'm going to ask is that before you run an ad, you go and try to do this yourself. If you're unable to do this yourself, which I won't be surprised if you can't, and I won't be offended if you need my help with it, and I won't think you're dumb because this has been a massive pain point for me. And it's been a spaghetti experience, meaning every time I do this, takes a different route. So spaghetti. What I do want to say is before you run an ad, you want to go to business.facebook.com. And so far, going to business.facebook.com has been the one common denominator in all of the times I've done this. From here is when it gets all weird. It may look like this for you. It may be blue and look entirely different. But what we want to do is make sure at the left-hand side, this drop down here, that needs to be your business. So if you click on it, you'll see you have a business account and then your account. It's not going to be your page. It's going to be your business account. So you want to get to your business account, click the business settings, and you'll want to find yourself on this window right here once it loads. But this is where you want to be. So you're in your business account here. It's users, people. Your name is selected, which is going to be your personal account. And then you have your page assigned to your personal account. And you want to click on your page. And in this list, there should be a toggle that says leads, and it will likely be turned off. You just need to switch that on to ensure that you're receiving leads. Now, I've talked to KWRI and said, hey, I don't have that leads toggle. What does that mean? And they said, we don't know, but what we found is that if you don't have the leads toggle, you're fine. You don't have to worry about it. So yeah, you need to have that turned on if you have it. If you don't have it turned on, don't worry about it. And Facebook makes absolute sense.
Okay.
Chris, quick thing
Pretty
if I could.
cynical about this.
This
Yes,
is
go
like a
ahead, David.
really good opportunity for, remember when you spent like almost an entire hour on this specific topic, if you maybe led in, to leverage your time, led in with that little video of, hey, the following may work out, and if it doesn't, reach out to me about the toggle switch or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was so helpful, that class. And if anybody right now is like, holy cow, like that was 5 minutes of what? You went over that, which was outstanding.
Yep. So thank you, David.
Yeah, it was great.
Awesome. Well, we have 4 minutes left. Any questions? Alicia, you look frazzled.
I'm struggling, but it's a personal question on how to, I took notes the last time you and I met, and I'm trying to point my command site to my own GoDaddy domain by going to the forwarding. I'm in the Kelly guide. It's not working, but I can send you a note offline.
Yeah.
can't
So
find
yeah, if you want to do that, I will say this with the new agent sites, they are the upgraded sites, whatever we're calling them. They are finding that if you're using a custom domain like that, you're more likely to get spam leads.
I'm not even trying to upgrade. I'm just trying to point my
Yeah.
current AliciaGlazier.kw.com I'm dropping, I also own the GoDaddy domain, just Alicia Glazier.
Yeah.
But I'm dropping that website and it will discontinue next week. They said all I need to do is point my new site to that domain name. I just
Yep.
can't find the place in the Kelly guide. I'm trying to do
Yeah.
it. Can't find where I'm supposed to put it.
Oh,
That's-
so it's not going to be, you have to do it in GoDaddy, not in Command.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you're going to go to GoDaddy.
Okay.
Click on the domain, go to DNS, go down to forwarding. So for anyone else that wants to do that. So
Thank you. I'm
You're
trying
welcome.
to multitask at the same time.
yes. So if you guys need any more help, you can always reach out to me. Help me, Chris at kw.com. I've also launched a link tree. I finally put it all together. It's chrisorsini.com. And that's got the link for my scheduler. That's got other various things that, help articles, as well as I built a AI chatbot that is pretty much me in a chatbot. We've named it Lester, right? It's short for Leverage Strong, Lester. And Lester is trained on all things KW. So he can answer questions about command for you. So if you're ever like, Chris is not getting back to me in 30 seconds, like I need him to, you can go to Lester and he'll answer those questions for you. I need more people to use it so that it starts learning a little bit better. And so I can see if there's any hiccups that I need to go and fix. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. You guys have a fantastic week and I will see you Thursday.
Thanks, Chris.
Do we
Thank
have to
you.
play it in chess?
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
All
good
right.
day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.